Hey, Troy, happy birthday.
Daniel, happy birthday, man. Happy Monday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday indeed. Hey, we talk a lot about how tech is destroying our lives and
Mhm.
how kids and technology and fubbing. And I actually wanted to flip the script a little bit and ask, how do you think iPhones, computers, internet, AI, how is it improving our
Mhm.
children's lives? And
Yeah.
our specific children are not even 5 yet. They're not even 4. But like our kids' generations, they're going to be growing up with ChatGPT. That they won't Google things. That's not going to be a thing they do. They're just going to ask their, chatbot of choice and they'll have answers effectively to all of life's questions in the palm of their hand. You and I, we went to the library in college to do research reports. Like that won't be a thing that most of our kids and their friends do. But it's easy to say, "Oh, it's terrible. They're not gonna know how to learn." It's like, well, no, they'll figure other things out to learn and they'll have hyper-focused learning. So I ask
Yeah.
you, how will AI technology and how AI is improving technology, how will that improve
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
kids' lives? And I wanna focus on the good stuff because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff actually, and I think that it's. I just think as humans we focus on the negatives more than we do the positives,
We do.
and that's
It's a
and that's
lot
why
easier
we.
to talk about negatives.
Dude, it is, and like you watch the news, it's all negative. It's not like, hey, we found this out about
Yeah.
cancer or XYZ, right? I had this whole conversation actually yesterday at a neighbor's house, so I won't get into it. But I also think that there's a lot of positives that come from technology adoption and AI and things like that. When I look at it, I see it like two things. One is connection, like just being able to have connection with anyone in the world, which sure, you can spin that in a negative way, but again, it's super easy to focus on negatives. Like, I think it's a
Yep.
really positive thing to have immediate connection and quick connection to your teacher, your mom, your dad, your friends, your cousin, your aunt. Like, I think that's incredible and used the right way. I believe it's like something that we take for granted is like how easy it is to talk to our mom, our dad, our
Yep.
whatever, whenever we want. And it's just so normal to us, right? Especially if you're, call it under 40. It's the norm to be able to call your mom, call your dad, text anybody. So I think it can improve the connection that they have with friends, families, things like that. And I do think it'll actually like the inverse of what you said, like, oh, they're never gonna learn. How are they gonna learn with all this information? Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need the stuff that I can go into this rabbit hole of how I think schools teach things wrong. Like I don't think learning is just reading books and memorizing books and then answering questions. I
Right.
don't know how helpful that really is. Um, but it's been around forever, right? And so I think that it'll teach them to learn the things that actually matter to get through life. Like you're going to need to learn how to change the chain on your bike and stuff like that. Kind of like we did. We never were able to Google, but they can and stuff. So I think it might force them to learn the things that they have to learn, but they can just learn it easier, better, faster than ever before. And I also think it just opens up like this world of freedom for them. Again, everything comes with a consequence. And I believe that with everything in life. But like for example, if you're call it a 16-year-old person, 14-year-old, doesn't matter how old you are, but let's just say early teens, mid-teens, and you want to start a business, you can go out there at 14, 15, 16-year-old these days and go and start a business. Ask ChatGPT, hey, how should I start this business? What should I name it? Create me a logo. What should everything, right? Like, how should I start it? How do I get my first customers? How do I market it? And you can get all your answers right then and there. And I think that's extremely incredible. So you could be like 14, 15, 16, and whatever that age might be. I saw somebody on LinkedIn has a 10-year-old son who's built a company to like 2,500 MRR right now just because
Yeah.
he learned how to do light coding and vibe coding. So I think that it opens up the door for tons and tons of opportunity, things that were never once possible when we were growing up and beyond. So those are a few ways that I think it can improve the lives. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's so easy to focus on the negative, but I think it's also easy to build things to kind of like weed out the negatives too. Like I do think that there will be a time where cyberbullying that'll always be there, but there's going to be ways to probably mitigate that and things like that, just as things get smarter. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways that I do believe AI improves the livelihood of children, and you can make an argument of screen time and stuff all you want, but I think that there's a lot of positives that need to be focused on more that we don't focus enough on. So what do you think can also be improved in a child's life with AI and with technology?
Yeah. I think you mentioned connection, and I think that's where my mind immediately goes to. My friend's spouse is deployed in the military for like 6 months right now. And they have some kids, and I was talking to them. I said, how is that? How are you able to or not able to connect? And they said, we try to FaceTime, whenever we can, which is pretty frequently. I don't want to even mitigate how difficult 6 months deployed would be with a family. So like, let's just assume that's the case. But 30, 40 years ago, if you were deployed, and deployed could be anything, you're deployed in the military or away for work, whatever it is, you're separated from your family. You're just separated. And your option, back in the day in World War II is letters. And there's like movies out there about how like most of those letters were just lost in transit. There's an entire movie. I can't remember the name of this movie, but it was actually a very dramatic kind of feel good movie about the mail delivery and I think it was World War II. Insane. Millions, literally millions of letters lost, never delivered. And there was this entire mail crew that like went through crazy amounts of mail to deliver them after the fact, a lot of times after death even. So really sad, but that's what you did back then. Now you have a cell phone, and sure there's a lot of rules that I'm not privy to in the military about how you can FaceTime or not, or whatever is allowed in those situations. But I think connection is what comes to mind. And I think we're already seeing it even in you and I's generation. You and I have never met in real life, ever. Uh, that that's something that I forget because we are friends
Yeah.
and co-founders
Yeah.
and successful with a podcast, never shaking each other's hand, never dapped, never seen each other face to face in real life. It feels like it feels like our kids should be best friends by now. They've never met. And so I think there's a very real effect of connection that you and I are experiencing firsthand and in a really valuable way. When I have my list of friends, you have your list of friends, you're on that list for me. I'm like, who should I tell about this crazy thing that happened at work? It's like, well, I'm going to text Troy. It's like there's a very real friendship that's formed. And when I think about the generations after us, like you and I were the first generation where that's the case. The generation before us, I mean, of course there's exceptions, but they're not like obsessively online. They don't have real friends that they've made online. Discord chat rooms and like the social medias all came during our generation early on in our lives, but still our generation. The generation after us, Gen Z, the generation after us, and then the generation after them, Gen Alpha, that's our kids of millennials.
Wow.
They will grow up in a online chat room native world where their best friends might be people they've never met. And you've probably seen these TikToks, as I have, where it's people who are meeting like their chat room for the first time in real life. And it's like a little silly. Like it's definitely like some satire and they're like kind of over the top, but like they're dapping them up for the first time ever after having been friends for like 5 years playing, games online,
Dude,
Fortnite
I
online,
love those
Roblox.
stories.
And it's so crazy. I'm like, these real friends. So I don't know. I think there are risks. There are so many things that technology hasn't figured out how to solve yet for those risk factors and the catfishings that are happening, all that stuff. But I think our kids' best friends might be a combination of IRL and online.
Dude, I will say, to your point, I agree. I mean, I have so many good friends through Xbox Live that like I don't talk to them every day or anything like that, but like we chat every so often, right? And it's just like, hey man, how are things going?
Yep.
Stuff like that. But we
Yep.
we talked every day, every night for years and years till
Crazy.
2 a.m., 3 a.m.
It's crazy.
It was awesome. It was awesome, right? I knew all about their life, where they were living. They're like, just it's insane. Which kind of leads me to think about the metaverse, which was a complete flop in my opinion when it tried to come out, whatever it was. 3, 4,
Meta's
5
still
years ago.
investing.
Dude,
They
are.
Meta, Mark Zuckerberg still investing, and there's like Decentraland, and there's these like metaverse first companies still growing, allegedly.
And allegedly, but that's actually where my question then starts to take direction is, do you think that will become the norm? I think maybe it was too early because you're talking about
Dude.
how it brings access to connection when we never dapped each other up, but there's these meeting rooms, chat rooms, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
you can join. This is literally like the closest thing to meeting IRL in the metaverse. Is it too early? Do you think it's just a flop forever? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it was a combination of too early and like technology lagging behind the idea. Like the original metaverse, I mean, original in the terms of this conversation, it started before the AI boom. And so
Yeah.
there was like Web3 and crypto and, skins and, well, if Fortnite and Roblox can do it, like, why not the whole internet? And like, there was concepts of a metaverse, but adoption was silly. Like, why would I do that? But now that hundreds of millions, or actually billions of people are using AI every day in their lives. I mean, it's crazy. I think ChatGPT said it's 750 million monthly active users or something, maybe daily active. I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's absurd.
So now that the world has adopted in mass this technology adjacent to what could become the metaverse, I think adopting new ideas of how to utilize AI and internet and connection, I think people are more open-minded, to be honest. It's like, metaverse was just such a flop because it was like, why would I do that? Why? But now it's like, well, you just have to attach it to something you're already doing that you just adopted in the last 12, 18, 24 months. Everyone, again, hundreds of millions of daily active users using AI. Everyone's adopted this new form of reality. So what's one more slightly different thing? I think metaverse is, look, I'm not an investor in anything metaverse related, although I do think I have some shares in Meta proper. I'm investing in Mark. You can't never slight Mark. Zuck is always doing it. So, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. I just saw a new role go up for Decentraland. I know the people there. Shout out Decentraland on Beehive. Boom, plug. But they are hiring. They're growing. I'm big fans of what they're doing. Actually, what they're doing is really remarkable. I think it's an adoption issue. I don't even know if that it was or is a tech issue. I think it's an adoption issue. And now that people have adopted something, what's another thing?
Yeah. Do you, I hate to turn your question about how it is improving kids' lives to something negative, but
Terrible.
the fear, and it's always been the fear when with Xbox Live, anything where you can just meet people online, there's always like that kind of like that ick behind it. Like, are there older guys, older people trying to, man, women, doesn't matter, trying to lure my child? So with the metaverse, and even as your kids get older and older and they do meet friends, not in real life, but over the internet, video games, whatever that might be, how do you plan to monitor that? Or is it you just get a list of all their friends and
Yeah.
micromanage them when they play games? Or what do you
There's
think?
this thought experiment that I spent an egregious amount of time using in college when I studied philosophy. And the thought experiment goes like this. You have a chair with a back and four legs and a seat. And you go to the chair and you need to replace one of the legs. You take the leg off, you put a new leg on. Is it the same chair? And the thought experiment goes, well, yeah, it's just you replace the leg. Okay, let's take the same chair, but you have to replace three of the four legs. You put three new legs on. Is it the same chair? Well, it starts to get a little gray. Okay, well, let's take that same chair. You replace all four legs, you replace the base, you replace all the spokes on the back, and you refinish the wood top to bottom. Is it the same chair? And you keep asking the question over and over and over again until eventually it's like, well, no, that's a completely different chair. But the gray area between the definitely the same chair and no, definitely new chair is drastic. And it really elicits these types of conversations that people have is like, when is something that was no longer? And so the reason I bring up this thought experiment, I think this idea of catfishing and masquerading as a different person online and fooling people, you could say the same thing about IRL. When I present myself to a room of people in a restaurant or a party or at some event, am I actually who I say I am? And when I say I am, meaning the way I come across in a party, people say I'm like the extroverted, like life of the party type person. I'm so introverted. I get so exhausted by parties. I have to go home and take a nap. But when I'm there, I'm live. Like
Yeah.
I'm hype. I'm having a great time. That's just my personality. I am alive and then I got to go take a 12-hour nap. Like I'm just exhausted. But like, would you say Daniel is lying about who he is in those instances? Is he giving, the type of, well, he's not really a 40-year-old man. He's or he's not really a 21-year-old woman. He's a 40-year-old man. It's like, well, no, he's being a certain version of himself that aligns with the setting. I'm telling you, this thought experiment is very similar. Well, what version of yourself for that specific setting then becomes so different than who you are
Mm.
that it's no longer you? Honestly,
Yeah.
put it in the Louvre. That was a great conversation. We should end the episode right here. That thought experiment makes me want to go get another degree in philosophy. That's an awesome question.
Dude, and I went to the gym this morning and I randomly was like, I should ask Daniel the question. This is super funny because we didn't talk really much at all before this episode. And I was like, I should ask Daniel if there's ever been a time in life where he didn't really act like himself to essentially blend in with the people that he was with. So I know some people, they have friends that are really successful, do really well, and then this person might not be doing really well, but they go out and spend all their money on like a Beamer and like nice things, and they're like internally they're struggling, but they're like, I have to keep up with my friends, and that's a big thing that people run into these days, and I see it all the time. For some reason, this age that we're in is so obsessed with impressing others versus like focusing on
Yeah.
just like themselves. Has there ever been a time where you've done anything like that? And if not, that's fine. But how do you
Oh, for
think
sure.
that? Okay, tell us.
Yeah. Before college, just because I didn't have time probably or the body to do it, I used to be a huge skateboard for like 10 years. Every weekend was at the skate park. Everyone I hung out with was through skateboarding.
What was your best trick?
I wasn't super good. So like kickflip and,
Okay, just your basics.
just like, just like, just your basic stuff. I was more of like a park. I would love to go to like a half pipes and do like very
Okay.
simple stuff, but I just had a great time.
But
I wasn't like
it's
the
always
super,
fun. Yeah.
jump like a 3 or 4 stair. Like there was
Yeah.
some small stuff that I was proud of, but I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I had a
same.
great time. Had a great time. But the crowd I hung out with because of skateboarding was definitely like not the crowd I look back on like 20 years ago. I'm like, I probably like wouldn't have done that if I wasn't into skateboarding. And, like this was what, okay, I'm an early teen. So like 2000s, like early 2000s, early mid 2000s, like dude would take out a pack of cigarettes and I'm like, whoa, like I'm 13. Like I shouldn't be doing like smoking cigarettes. It's like, might as well. Like I'm with the crowd's doing it. It's like, here,
Yeah.
or like snowboarding. You'd be snowboarding. They went hand in hand, although I still snowboard and I love it. It's my favorite sport by far.
Dude,
But
it's
you're on the
amazing.
mountain with like a bunch of high schoolers and they're, 13, 14, 15 years old. No one really knows their left from their right. And someone takes out a pack of cigarettes and you just smoke one. And it's like, well, why would I do that? I'm 13. Like, first of all, that's wrong. 13-year-old shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. But like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I'm going to do it because all my friends are doing it. And I think that's like, that's one example of probably 100 that I could think of. But I think peer pressure to perform and belong, I think back then, big problem for teenagers. Right now, 100 times larger problem for teenagers. And it scares me. It scares me because I know my kids are going to be teens someday. And like, what is the equivalent of peer pressure going to look like? I don't know. I
don't know. Yeah.
Things that I don't understand scare me the most because I'm like, what is the peer pressure equivalent in 2035?
Yeah.
When my kids are in their early high school years, like that, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, there's AI glasses now. They're like Meta glasses. They're awesome, by the way. I'm going to buy some. They're $500. They're way too much money. I'm totally going to get them so I can like record myself running. It's so sick. Anyways, like there's so much stuff in technology that's causing new forms of peer pressure and social pressure and social anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know how it's going to look either. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't even guess. I couldn't even give you a good guess on in 10 years, what will it look like when Liam's 13? What I will say is, going back to our first answer, is like connection and access that also can become a negative. And something that I've seen, I hope this takes a turn, but similar to you, I kind of got in the friend group of like skaters and stuff like that and
Mhm.
love skateboarding. Thought it was super fun. But like, it got to the point where I was in like ninth grade smoking weed. Like, I was like, just like for some context, I had a huge panic attack. I hate it. And ever since then, I've been like an anxious guy, not super anxious, but I never had
Mm.
once had any anxiety in my life. Had a panic attack. And then senior year, I didn't smoke ever again until senior year of high school, where my friends were like, come on, like you haven't done it in so long. Just try like an edible or whatever. And I tried it again. Same thing, panic attack. I like ran home.
Wow.
It was like a complete episode. And ever since then, I've never done a drug. Will never do a drug again in my life. Like even this weekend, I had buddies drink like THC drinks because they didn't want to get drunk, but they wanted to like,
Yeah.
be in the vibe, whatever. And I was like, no, I will never have anything that I'll drink
Yeah.
alcohol, which is probably even a worse drug to be honest.
I don't even
But
know if
yeah,
you can
man,
compare the two.
it's hard to
Yeah.
compare the two. We're not going to open up that can of worms, but yeah.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it kind of scares me when I graduated high
Yeah.
school. It's like the generation younger were like, maybe this is TMI, but like they were having like sex younger. They were doing drugs, like coke
Mm.
and stuff. Like in high school, I'm like, oh my
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh, like I wasn't even thinking of that. Like, so I don't know. It scares me. It does scare me, and
I think
I hope we have so much studies that come out where kids are just like, I don't need to do that. Like I can just go have friends and have fun. I don't know.
I think moral compasses are shifting where what was just emphatically and widely accepted as crazy in, let's be extreme, like the 70s, or maybe not the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Our kids and their kids' friends, and like it's just like the moral compass of right and wrong is so highly questioned. And
Yeah.
there's so much bureaucracy and politics at play where you might act a certain way to rebel against what everyone thinks is acceptable or not acceptable. And I think that's always how kids have been. But what is acceptable is so starkly different. And I think it's the cop out answer for someone to say, well, every generation talks this way. Like the generation after them is great. No, no. This right now has never happened as rapidly or with such drastic changes month to month and year to year in the history of humanity. You think of like the craziest shifts in social society and culture, and like you think of like the train, the locomotive, like that was huge because things could travel city to city. You think of airplanes because like globalization, now I can just go fly to Europe if I want. You think of technology like the computer, internet. I think what's happening right now with AI and the shift of the world to either latch onto or repel is the same magnitude of those things, like the printing press of society. And so, yeah, the moral compass is an interesting one. I am responsible for my kids' moral compass. That is my
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
Their moral compass will be a direct reflection of my own, but their friends' moral compasses and their friends' moral compasses and the internet's moral compass. I mean, shoot, I have to turn my not my internet, my phone, my device off all the time because I'll just be scrolling loosey goosey, having a good old time when I come across someone having sex with someone else right in front. I'm like, whoa, like I'm on freaking TikTok or Twitter. Like, I don't want to see that. Or
Yeah.
someone dies. Like, oh, another shooting. There's freaking 10 people dead on my screen. Like,
Yeah,
don't show
dude.
me that. I don't
Yeah.
want to see that ever. But what
Yeah.
do? I mean, I think it's like you either constantly risk seeing that or you don't ever scroll social media. I feel like there's nowhere in between right now. It's like, oh, just put your privacy settings on different. It's like I have. I've already done that. What
Yeah,
else do I do except just delete
just
my
set a
account
timer on
entirely?
it. Set a timer on your apps. Like, yeah, but like
It-
I keep hitting
It's
ignore. Like
so annoying. It's so
I,
annoying, dude.
I don't
I'm like, the internet's such a dark, rough place.
I was did literally was just having this conversation. Just met my neighbors yesterday and it was just talking about my wife watches the news. I come in from the gym, the news is on, she's watching it. It's never, ever anything positive. this person died, drunk driving, school shooting, church burnt on fire. Like I think in the last like 24 hours, there's like 3 mass shootings. It's
It's
absurd. It's
horrible.
crazy, but yeah, I don't know. And something that I've gotten really good at, and I apologize to you directly right now because there's times where I don't answer my phone, and I know that sometimes I haven't answered you, so my bad. That's on me. But
It's all
I
good. It's
like,
all good. It's all
and I
good.
don't know if it's subconscious because of this podcast, because I talk about it so much, or what. But I've become really, really good at just completely detaching from the entire world on the weekends to spend time with my wife and my kids, to the point where like I don't know what's going on in the world, good or bad. I finally, like last night, I went to bed, I scrolled on TikTok a little bit, and that's when I found out that there's 3 mass shootings. I was like, what the heck? Like 3 in like the last 24 hours? That's absurd. But yeah, I think I've gotten
Yeah,
really,
it's
really good at just completely disconnecting from digital life for the most part on the weekends.
mhm.
And I feel like I'm not doing it intentionally, but I'm glad that it's happening, you know?
Yeah, but like, how do you teach someone who hasn't done that to do that? Because correct me if I'm wrong. That's just kind of how you are. No? Have you been super intentional about developing that practice? Or are you just like, I'm just going to disconnect?
Um, I
Like you
think
have an
as
X factor to be able to do that.
uh, I guess I don't know. I think that like as Liam has gotten older, I've he's just so whoever's watching this, like Liam is my oldest son. He's 3.5 around there. It has been so fun watching him like actually interact and develop just like full like full sentences and like thoughts on his own. So I took him to swim class like last week on Wednesday. I take him every Wednesday. And we get out of swim class and he goes, "Thanks for taking me swimming, Dad. I had so much fun." I teared up. I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude. Like I had a lot of fun with you too." And so I think now, as of like the last 6 months, I have just realized like how much fun I'm having with my kids. Cause there was a time where I was like, "Oh, like this isn't fun and this is more stressful than fun, blah, blah, blah." But I don't know. I don't know if it's just because he's getting older and I'm having a better time and it's much more engaging or what. But I haven't intentionally done it, but I'm glad that whatever has happened kind of just like, "Yo, Troy, you don't need your phone on weekends." And I'll use it, of course.
Yeah.
Like I'll use it when I
Yeah.
need to, but I'll probably not respond to your text. I'll probably not know what's
Yeah.
going on if there's something crazy in the world going on. I'm just whatever's happening is happening all in the background. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've talked about Opal on this podcast a few times. I have it blocked 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, my phone, which is great. And if I'm like going and getting a cup of coffee or like eating lunch or something, I'll unblock it. But like for the most part, I actually had a stat. I think I've reduced my use of technology for the rest of my life. It takes your age and how much you expect to live from 44 years total, which is insane, to
Nuts.
like 21 years. So in a
That's
month,
crazy.
I've reduced it by more than half. So I'm like actually pretty encouraged by that. I'm like, awesome. Like that, the first number was egregious. The second number was like still pretty gross, but I'm going the right way. But what I do is on Saturdays and Sundays, block it from 7 a.m. to I think 11 a.m. or noon. So it's just like I wake up without my phone on those days and am directly present with my family for the first like 5, 6 hours of the day. And I think that habit, it's almost like they say like making your bed first thing when you wake up is like the right thing to do to develop, healthy habits because the first thing you do is productive. That's how I've started to feel on Saturdays and Sundays. Like the first thing I do is not my phone. So the propensity to use my phone throughout the rest of the day is actually lowered because I'm like, well, I haven't been on the last 5 hours and it's been great. We've
Yeah.
talked about this as well, but how technology is going to start shifting toward our own adoption of it or lack thereof. And what I mean here is the like the Silicon Valley tech gurus of the world are all like pretty like zero tech homes. They're like, oh, my kid won't have a cell phone. My kid is going to go to a private school where they don't use laptops. Like it's very ironic. Like you
Yeah. Yeah.
created Facebook, Netflix, Apple, all this stuff, but you're not even letting your kids use it. Do you think kids in middle school, high school who are being given laptops and stuff will actually start to develop a disdain for the technology and even start to rebel against technology use, similar to how we in our school years rebelled against reading a book? Like, I'm not going to read that stupid book. Like their stupid book is actually going to be using a MacBook. It's like, will they rebel against the things that are tech based and like reverse back to books? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
interested in seeing how this all kind of comes together.
Yeah. Actually, I've never thought about that because I definitely rebelled against my homework and my books. And now, yeah, schools are giving out Chromebooks and things like that for people to do work. And I think, yeah, I feel like maybe they would rebel against educated technology use,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a school given device, right? So when you get
Yep.
home, you probably get your own device. And you're like, ooh, I get to use this for social
I
media
know.
and gaming. And so I think they would rebel, not against screen time in particular, but definitely like ed tech screen time. I think they would rebel against that. And I'm sure it's already
Mm-hmm.
happening. I bet you I know when we were, or at least when I was in college, there was Blackboard and, you submitted your
Yep.
homework and stuff
Stupid
through there.
Blackboard.
I know, stupid
They already
Blackboard.
started doing plagiarism, breakdowns, like, percent copied of your survey. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's way more advanced now because it's been 15 years, but crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, and so I don't know. I think they'll rebel against that. I think they'll rebel. It's going to be the same thing, just with technology in their hands. So maybe it's even worse. Now they have even more technology.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that, yeah, these rich people, and rich people don't take that in a bad way, but yeah, they build crazy tech companies, and it's like, all right, you're going to private school, you can't really have any contact with the outside world besides the other really rich people. Super interesting, but
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think they'll rebel against tech. I think it's too hard. I think it all boils down to your environment. If you're in an environment where your friends, your family, and things like that are just really centered around tech use, you're probably going to be centered around tech use. And if you're friends with, like, let's just call it like hipsters and things like that, you're probably going to just go like, my wife's brother, big hipster, super cool guy, but like, dude, just like, he goes and hikes for 3 months and doesn't have a single piece of technology on him. And
That's so sick.
I know, it's crazy. And so he does that, and then he's always like camping or whatever. He's always just doing stuff where he's disconnected from any sort of tech. Besides his Garmin watch, where that's what we track when he goes on these long hikes. But
Nice.
it's sick. Like, that's awesome. He doesn't have kids or anything, so
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit easier. But I don't know. I don't think that I don't think kids will rebel against technology unless, like, there has to be like a paradigm shift. Like, the technology is bad, and I don't think people think technology is bad, and it's not. It's
Yeah.
good, but also bad.
So with technology and parenting and the shift, we're starting to see AI being used in like pediatrics. And, you know, we're not talking like silly overuse of a phone, not to undermine how bad overuse of technology is, but like direct effect of children's health because of what AI or technology does or doesn't suggest. And there's a study that Frontiers did to investigate parents' understanding and attitudes toward the application of AI in pediatric healthcare. And I think what's happening right now with healthcare is we as end users are scratching the surface of how healthcare can be, how you can actually learn more about your body and science and biology from AI. Doctors have been, hospitals have been using technology like this for forever. But I guess when does technology get so good that our need to go to the doctor is effectively null? I mean, we're not there yet, but we're already seeing even like the meme of like someone shows up to the doctor and the patient basically gives the doctor the diagnosis, and
From
the doctor is like, "Yeah, why are you even here?" I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, but like it's a meme. It's not real yet. I mean, a lot of doctors still know way more than the technology, but I mean, what
yeah.
can't we just learn with tech? I don't know. Eventually this is not going to be the case, or doctors are going to have to learn so much more above and beyond what a chatbot will be able to do. But like, I have to believe AI is going to get good enough to just
Tell
do
you
it
what's
all.
wrong.
I
Do
mean,
you do you not think Google was that for? Do you think, because you would Google that pre AI, you would say, "Hey, I have a headache and three stub toes, and I can't walk straight," and then they would tell you like what's wrong with you. Are you saying that
no, I
because
think
we can get immediate answers and have full conversations with a robot, it'll almost eliminate the need to go to the doctor.
I think what Google did, I mean, this is what Google did, is it just curated what other people have said about a topic. I mean, that's all Google was. Now Google's starting to, put AI into their responses as like a TLDR at
Isn't
the
AI
top.
the same thing though? Where it's essentially just scraping what everybody's already created?
No, AI actually has its own thoughts based on what others have said. Totally different.
You know that it doesn't actually have its own thoughts. It actually predicts what the answer should be versus
But
have its own thoughts.
that's what a
It's
doctor.
super-
That's what a doctor does.
yeah,
That's exactly what a
So-
doctor does.
You're right.
A doctor
yeah.
ingests all the information in the world and then gives you a prediction based on
So
that's exactly what doctors do.
Yeah. To answer your question, I think it's when you need literally like immediate medical attention, go to a doctor.
Right. Like
when you need,
surgery,
when you need
like
a prescription,
life-saving surgery or something. Yeah.
There will be like, who knows, maybe Mark Cuban will do this where there's like, he's got his like make prescription medicine pretty cheap. What is it called?
Yeah.
Let's something
Cost-
RX.
Cost plus.
Anywho,
Something like that.
maybe there's a world in which it becomes so smart that like from a regulatory perspective, something passes where it's like, hey, if this is the circumstance, you can just go and get prescription meds by yourself. If ChatGPT diagnoses you with XYZ, like maybe it's strep, maybe you can get, but then again, when I go to the doctor, I have to take a strep test. Like how are you going to do that at home? Are you just going to carry like a COVID test? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. But
I don't know either.
when you need surgery and when you need prescriptions, I feel like at least for the foreseeable future, that's still going to have to be a thing because there's an easy way to do that the wrong way and just go get prescriptions because you want like Xanax and not necessarily because you have anxiety or whatever it might be. So yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting to think about.
The startup Theranos, I think is how you pronounce it. Theranos, I never knew, but Elizabeth Holmes,
Yeah.
I mean, huge, obviously, big deal. She's in prison now from, investor fraud and a lot of stuff. So she has a Twitter. She came back on Twitter after like 10 years. And I'm 99% sure it's her. And I'm 99% sure the tweets are being written by someone not in prison because I don't actually know how that would work. But I mean, like, wouldn't put it past her to have a phone in prison. I think some people do. But she's in prison and she's tweeting pretty regularly. And she did like an AMA at some point. And people were like, hey, like, with AI now, could what you did actually exist? Was Theranos, whatever, just before its time? And for those listening, Theranos, I'm just going to use that as its pronunciation, was like a blood test that would effectively verify potential diseases, propensity to have a disease, like life-changing blood test work with one drop of blood for like 110 different tests. And, it didn't work allegedly because that's why she's in prison for fraud, a lot of that stuff. But like, it wasn't that far-fetched. Like, if we're being honest, with what we know now, 5 or 10-ish years removed, I believe, from that, seems like that's just like, oh yeah, that'd be sick. That seems like an actually valid use of AI and bringing that into a real world setting where you could actually test actual biology with it. I'm like, so anyways, when's the next Theranos going to start? It seems like that's just like, someone should just go do it. Like, it doesn't seem far-fetched anymore. And I think maybe she was just before her time, which is probably why there was some fraud involved. I don't know why, what all the fraud was about, but surely she was stretching the truth about things you're not allowed to stretch the truth about.
She said, fake it till you make it, like, for sure.
Right.
She's like,
you're not allowed to do that.
Maybe it was ahead of her time, right? Maybe she was literally trying to fake it till she made it and she knew like at some point it would come. So I wouldn't doubt that there was something being created very similar right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I
Sure,
think
it probably is.
I think that there's so much going, I don't know. I think the way technology is advancing right now is so crazy. And there's so much going on that we don't know about, which is like awesome and kind of scary. I was actually thinking this morning, like where the job market will be in like 5 to 10 years. Like there's, for example, Perplexity came out with their browser Comet. Comet like just creates AI agents for you, like through the browser. You don't like right now, companies are creating agents for other companies. Like consultants are creating agents for a company and they use those agents. But at some point, my assumption is you'll just be able to say, I want an agent that does this. Something gets created. Now you can, eliminate a third of your employees because you can just talk and say, here's the agent I want, go build it. So I don't know. I don't know what the future of work is going to be. And never in my life have I ever wanted to have some sort of trades business more than now. to be honest.
Yeah.
Like just go buy a landscaping company. I don't know. Like just run
I'm
it.
telling you, that is my fallback. Like if everything fails, I will do landscaping and I will do it well. It's a tried and true model. There's always needs. It doesn't have to be a bank breaking service that you offer. I pay my guy $50 every like 10 days because of just the speed that my lawn grows. I'm like, he doesn't, no joke, 25 minutes. He comes in going like the speed of light on his riding mower. He edges and then he's out. Like usually by the time I get a Venmo request, he has both shown up and finished before I noticed he was here at all. He's just so fast. And I'm like, dude, if I can like dial in, and I'm not saying landscaping is easy. The people that do it well do it really well. It's a skill for sure. But like I did my own lawn for 20 years. Like I can definitely figure it out. Yeah, services, there will always be needs for services.
Hey, question. I saw your LinkedIn post this morning that you signed up for I think a half marathon on November 8th or November 9th.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes. Yeah.
You training?
I am. I did 6.7 miles last night.
Nice.
Well, yeah, it feels
I'm
good.
I'm signing up today for a half marathon in November. And so
the Madison one, right?
The Madison one, I was supposed to sign up weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do it. And then today
I was
like,
very tempted to come up and do that with you, but
that'd have been sick.
I know that would be
logistically, it's not easy. It's not
easy. If it was a full marathon and this was like 6-7 months out, I would do it, but I can't travel like that for a half. But we do need to do something IRL pretty soon.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't ran in a long time. I think I've ran maybe this whole year after. So I did the half marathon last year. I probably ran 15 miles this year. Kind of just stopped running.
You need to probably you need to probably train a little bit more. You could definitely get injured.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt my little feetsies or anything like that, or my knees. But I will. I'm gonna start today. I'm actually gonna go on like a 3 or 4 mile run to kind of knock the rust off because Daddy can't run right now. I suck. I tried to run 2 miles the other day, like weeks and weeks ago.
You don't want to hop into a half without having run at all for a whole. I mean, you're gonna pull something or just be out of breath. It just won't be enjoyable. Like you're gonna hate yourself for 13 miles. Which if that's the goal, that's fine. But feels like you should probably enjoy it.
I feel like I need to like get leaner. Actually, is where I'm at with my headspace. I feel like I got too big, which sounds like so. Like
no, I mean Zach Pogrob, he's the founder of Share Aura, and he's awesome. Follow him on Twitter. He's got like 1.3 million on Instagram. Great guy. But I've been using his app, and it's just an overlay for like your stats. So you can, it's a design app, pretty cool to show your workout and your running stats. He did a 255 full marathon at 210 pounds. And
wow,
you think that's impressive until you really think about how impressive that is. I mean, he's like 6'4", 6'5". He was just like,
look at
210, just screaming. I mean, that's like 647 mile, I think, average. So splits are nuts to get under a sub 3 when you're that big. But you know, didn't you do your last half like a 9:30 pace or something?
Like 9:50. But
I mean, that's fast. That's fast.
I don't know if it is. Is it though? Is it fast to us?
It is.
Like if you're a marathon runner listening, is that fast? Like I feel like maybe it's not that fast.
That is fast for someone who never runs.
Does it? I don't run. I hate running.
I know. That's fast. I couldn't do that. I can run that pace for a few miles, but not for 13. I mean, I could probably work up to it, but that's very fast. Like I did 6, 7, like 12 minutes last night, 12-minute pace, which is slow, which I know, but like 3-minute difference per mile, that's fast.
So when you say it like that, it sounds fast. But like a 12-minute pace that's very chill. Like that's a nice run where you can actually enjoy it.
I know.
And not hate yourself out there.
No, I was hanging out. I'm just like out there hanging out. Yeah. And then this morning I had my protein. I had my collagen peptides, Momentous. Shout out Momentous. Go to livemomentous.com. Use code 2DADS for 35% off. I've been using collagen peptides since I learned about them from Mark Zuckerberg when he guested on Joe Rogan's podcast. Big deal, especially for people with chronic back and joint problems for me. So, you know, I deal with that all the time. What's an extra collagen peptide? Always going to put it in my smoothie with the protein just to make sure I'm recovering fast.
Dude, honestly, one, I use them every day now. And then two, it's like 15 grams of protein for like 60 calories or something like that. Like
it's amazing.
The protein to calorie ratio is absurd. So I throw it in my yogurt every morning now. Creatine right before my workout, and then I get home, have a yogurt, throw some collagen peptides in there, and I don't even taste it. Just snack.
And if you're looking for AI to help your workflow at work, if you work in tech sales, check out Tango AI. It's a great kind of CRM wrapper that's going to help you just totally automate your workflow as a salesperson. It is end of quarter for me right now. And so anywhere that I can automate my workflow to do more outreach, get more tasks, get more quality in the pipeline and generate more revenue, I mean, that's just going to be icing on the cake. I need it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Icing on the cake. Speaking of icing on the cake, as you check out Tango AI, I DoorDashed a tiramisu the other day. My wife was out of town because check it out. My wife was out of town. Never before has my youngest been without her mom for a single night. He just recently started sleeping through the night and let me put him down. So the last like month, this has been a total transformation. So she went out of town Friday night through Sunday evening. I had a great time with both kids. It was a blast. Both of them did so well. It was a really eye-opening thing. Like, okay, they can do it now. Like they don't, I mean, my oldest I already knew, but the youngest doesn't need his mom every single night. He's not going to lose his mind. Where's I going with this? Oh, Friday night, put him down. I was feeling good. I was feeling a little single. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, wife's gone. Like, I'm going to DoorDash a freaking tiramisu. And I did.
Did you eat it all?
It was like $25 for a slice of tiramisu because it was a DoorDash and they add a fee on your fees for everything you think about. But it was delicious. I will do it again when given the opportunity.
And you ate it all one sitting?
Oh, immediately. I mean, it was a slice.
It was a slice, like yeah. So like,
yeah.
Yeah, that would be dumb to not eat
if I had DoorDash a full tiramisu. That would be so. Oh, man.
Your wife would walk in and there's just a box. Like, yeah, Friday night.
It was.
That's Friday night.
Troy, where do they find us?
Oh, you already know. It's twodadsinTech.com. Spelled exactly how it sounds. Go to twodadsinTech.com. 5 stars on Spotify and Apple, please. That really helps.
Yes, please.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Tell your friends.
Find us? Yeah, tell your friends. Daniel Burke, Troy Munson, LinkedIn. That's where we post a lot. I think you're pretty active on Twitter too.
I am.
I think that's it, man. I think that's it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This is we're coming up on a year, which is crazy. We'll have to do something crazy for the 52nd episode. But thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. You guys rock. You're the reason we keep doing this. See you next week.